Hi guys, welcome back to ESCplus. My name is Aitor, and we're here today. We're kicking off with the interviews for MESC 2025 with one of the semi-finalists and hopefully finalists of MESC 2025, Stefan Galea from Malta. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good to see you. Happy New Year, first and
Yes,
foremost. I'm
yes,
so
happy New
glad
Year.
to be doing this interview with you. It's always
Yes,
fantastic.
yeah, it's been a long time now. A year ago, we were doing also this interview, similar interview, but now there are some changes. We will talk about it later on because now it's
2023, I think. Yes, for
yes.
2023. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, this year is gonna be different. So let's we will talk about it later. But first of all, congratulations again for being one of the
Thank you.
24 entries for MESC 2025. And you're entering with a song. I mean, it's Lablab, right?
I'm
Well,
going
you
to
will
see if
talk.
you're going to pronounce it. I want to hear you
Yes.
say
Okay.
it.
Lablab, talk. Yes.
Perfect. Pronounced
Perfect.
it perfectly.
Yeah, Spanish Maltese they are similar, I think so. Some words are similar, so yeah, it's easy for us. So yeah, you're entering with Lablab Talk. The song for is the song for this year for your entry for MESC. So first of all, before talking about the song, let's talk about how do you feel? We saw a video of you reacting to when you were announced as one of the finalists, but you were with your mom. It was really sweet. But tell us, how was
Family
the Yes,
affair.
of course. Tell us how was the reaction and what do you what was the first thing that crossed your mind when you were announced as one of the finalists?
So all I can say, this is practically my third experience now, about to walk on the big stage for the live shows, but it still feels as if it's my very first time, for the simple reason that each song and each performance brings with it a different journey. I know it's cliche, but that is the honest truth. So every song and every performance, especially when we're talking about a high stamina event such as MESC and Eurovision, brings with it a new journey, a new approach. And I think with each and every single year, there's an element of artistic growth as well in the way that you approach it. So, yes, obviously, I'm really excited. I'm just really looking forward and eager to walk on that stage once again and hopefully deliver the best performance that I genuinely can give, even when compared to my previous performances in MESC. There's always that added pressure that you want to do better, first and foremost, for yourself, creatively and artistically.
Mm, of course. So, as you said, this is your third time. You were part of MESC 2023 with the song Heartbreaker that we do went to the final with. And then last year it was a tough competition and there was a different format, but you were also part of it in MESC 2024 with NAM. And now you are back with Lablab. How do you compare this song and yourself or you as an artist right now with the previous years?
If I can compare, I have to go back to 2016 because my very first
True, yes.
okay, it was in 2016. So obviously, I think a complete change when I entered back in 2023 after all that time, after all that gap, because obviously I was focusing on my studies, I was focusing on my music behind the scenes, that story practically. I felt that I finally could be myself on stage. I finally identified my artistic identity, the story that I want to say through my music, what I want to bring forward on stage musically, because most of the songs that I've written so far and collaborated with all have a personal experience. And obviously, the fact that I've experienced it already so far, I know what to expect on that stage. I know how I need to be reacting when it comes to certain situations, how to keep myself composed as well, mentally and especially physically when it's a performance of this type. And also, I'm just in a phase where I don't feel afraid anymore to experiment creatively. And most of the time, I'm trying to remain within my own bubble and not let, outside influences get to me as much.
Yeah, of course. I mean, every time it's different, a different experience, and of course, like you grow as an artist. So, in this way, this we only heard a snippet, literally like 10 seconds of the song, but soon, hopefully, the songs will be out in full. So, there is also like 1 month to go. So,
Yes, I
time,
think we're going to have the song very, very soon.
yes,
That's all I
time
can tell
is
you.
time is ticking, but for Wakonga, we can hear it's in the same, it's in the similar. not a style, but it sounds like I would say more similar to last year than 2 years ago, for example. But
Hmm.
it's clearly like an evolution of your style and your music. It's dark, but also modern. We will talk about it later, like how was the songwriting process. But so we know that you were part of the songwriting camp last. I mean, it was for MESC
June.
2025, but it
Last year in
happened.
June. Yes.
But it happened in June. So how did it happen? That were you invited by PBS because you were part of other years, or how uh, how did you decided basically to come back to MESC after trying 2 years in a row?
So to be completely honest with you, if you had asked me this question before the songwriting camp came along, I wasn't sure if I was going to do MESC, even though I have to admit I do love Eurovision. I do love all the preparation surrounding Eurovision, but I wasn't sure yet, primarily because I needed to make sure that whatever song I was working on was going to be representing me, ultimately my style and what I stand for at the present moment. I was already writing music, to be completely honest. I've written a song with Ketil Morland, which I am hoping to release now very soon, hopefully after MESC as well. And I've been writing music even with other songwriters. But then when the songwriting camp applications came along, I thought to myself, okay, let me take a leap of faith over here. I actually applied. I took my chance like many of the other contestants and artists, and I primarily applied not just because of Eurovision in mind, because I wanted to build my network with other songwriters and producers, and ultimately from this camp see what could potentially be created, even for Eurovision, should I consider returning. And it was a great experience because I was paired up with Matt Black, who obviously locally is considered to be Eurovision royalty. And I happen to know Matt Black very well. He also knows me, my sound, what I stand for. And I was also paired with Silje from Norway and Itamar Lapido. I hope I pronounced his surname correctly. And basically, I like to describe the song. It's as if Matt Black and myself infused both our genres together, both our styles, our individual styles, and basically the song was born. Um, I was really appreciative that the producer Itamar allowed me some creative freedom, but at the same time, I also wanted to see what he was going to bring forward. So at the same time, I was taking a risk as well with this genre, with this sound. So I didn't want to hold back and say, listen, this is what I want over here or in this part of the song. I let the creativity flow as much as possible to make sure that it's raw, even with Celia. And basically, the song kept on evolving and evolving to the point where it is nowadays. And I'm very happy with where it stands at the present moment, for sure.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's true that you surround yourself with such a big names of both Malta and also like Eurovision in general, because as you say, Celia was from Norway, and you were also like working these bands with Morland from Norway, right? And you also went to the Boots, right? Like a songwriting, not camp,
I
but
did.
like the songwriting, yeah, having in the Boots, basically.
Yes, and
Um,
everything. I got a lot of influences from many different people, which ultimately
mm,
obviously keeps on helping the songwriting process even further. Not every
mm,
song that I write will ultimately make the cut, and I believe sometimes you have to write as many songs as much as possible to ultimately, find that diamond in the rough when it comes to a song that ultimately you are presenting for Eurovision, especially.
mm.
These
Yeah,
are the contests.
of course. But as you said, like you were writing music, even if it wasn't for Eurovision, but you were surrounding yourself with Eurovision people. So I think like in the back of your head, you were always like thinking about Eurovision. So
It's always
uh,
in the diamond. Yes.
yes, of course. So tell us about that session in Malta last June. So if you could describe it with one phrase, what would you choose?
Chaotic. Chaotic.
With Matt, it's always chaos, you know?
It's always chaos. But
But
this is why I enjoyed working with everyone really, but also particularly Matt because he managed to balance me out as well. He manages to balance me out. I'm a
and
bit
when
more
you
quieter when compared to Matt. So obviously there is that lovely balance. And it shows in the song as well, as you will see.
Nice. And when you finished that session, you felt something inside of you that you felt like, oh, this could be the one, and I'm sure that this can make the
So,
cut.
for the simple reason, from what I can tell you, is that it has a very, very unique sound. Definitely a unique sound. I think at the end of the day, I wanted to bring a song, and this is what Itamar was saying as well. As much as possible, we need to try and be memorable. As an artist, I think one of my main aims is for people to remember my music, to remember my performance. So, how can I create something? I was always thinking in the back of my mind, how can we create something that people are ultimately going to remember? And this is why I believe the song has such a unique sound to it.
Yeah, no, it sounds really. I mean, for what we can say, we can hear it's like really interesting. And I think like as you said, like it will have like big changes. I hopefully, and a mix of everything, a bit of you, a bit of Matt Black, and Itamar. I know him personally, and I know what he does as a producer, and he's
He's a musical
amazing.
genius.
No,
He's a
no, he's
genius.
a yeah, he's a god of producer, like the producing
Yeah.
and mixing. So yeah, you were in good hands. But let's talk about the song. So what were you looking for, and what did you come up with? Is it different, or you got what you wanted?
So there are still theatrical elements. I mean, I am a theatrical performer. There are still theatrical elements in the song, but if you're asking me in terms of the message of the song, first and foremost, I wanted a song that feels anthemic, that people can sing along to, that they can vibe to, but also to make sure that I'm bringing forward a story that people can ultimately resonate with. And I think the message of the song is ultimately very universal. So basically, Lablab Talk Talk talks about a situation that we face in our lives, I think practically on the daily, how we actually deal with gossip, how gossip can actually affect us, how we deal with social media and the fact that everyone, sometimes tends to hide behind the keyboard screen and they feel the need to say whatever they want without actually verifying facts or fact checking. We live in an era as well, unfortunately, of fake news with rumors spreading around. And I also wanted to bring forward the message that even if these words that I might be seeing or reading might be harmful or they might have their negative impact, at the end of the day, I am not going to let them destroy me because I know myself well enough, and I know what sort of person I am and also my personality. So, what I wanted to show with the song is that yes, words can ultimately be very harmful, and I also have the power to not let them affect me. It is cliche, it's easier said than done, I know, but ultimately we wield that power in ourselves.
Yeah, I mean it's a very strong message, and you are for sure ready for all the gossip and comments about the Euro fans are we are really like harsh sometimes, we could be harsh.
Yes,
So
yes, very, very hard to convince, I would say. But I think that is the beauty of Eurovision. Look, at the end of the day, I mean, this industry is all about opinions, and if
mhm,
you're not able to take anyone's opinion, especially when we're talking about different tastes in music, then probably you're in the wrong job,
mm.
So you
No,
have to
yeah,
be,
for sure.
as long as it's done in a tasteful way. Obviously, I
Mm,
can take the criticism and I can take different opinions 100%, but as long as they are done tastefully, of course,
mm.
respectfully.
Of course, yeah. And especially now, I think like in the Eurovision world, like and the EVU is putting a lot of effort and importance on the mental health of the artists. So this kind of message is really important to remind the people that the people who are stepping on the stage are like humans as all of us,
Yes, and I
So
just want the fans, any fans in general, that at the end of the day, whoever they're writing about is also a
mm,
human being. And
yeah,
also, even if you like another artist, you don't need to, put down another different artist in
yeah,
the same
yeah,
instance. Obviously, we
yeah.
have different tastes and opinions on who we like and what music we enjoy.
Yeah, sure. And now that I'm thinking, like, did you take any inspiration from last year's entry from Gratitude? Because I think like the message was really similar, right? Like blah blah. You remember?
Not at all, to be completely honest. This is a very funny story. So I immediately went into the session knowing what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about gossip, rumors being spread. I think this is something that we're living through. Even it's very relatable at the present moment. And Matt immediately, before I even said what I wanted to say, he said, "I have had this word in my mind all night, which is lablab. Lablab is basically the Maltese word for talk talk." And I said, "This is fantastic, Matt, because literally this is the story that I wanted to tell with this song that we are going to be writing." So everything then came after each other. So no, there weren't any references from Greta. Hi, Greta, if you're watching this interview, she's a big Euro fan.
Yeah, of course. We love her. We hope to see her very soon at MESC, really, in the coming years.
I'm
So,
sure.
yes, we do. And let's talk about the music genre and the sounds. If you could describe it in like a one phrase or like in a couple of words, what you wanted to bring? Because as you said, well, first of all, tell us if the lyrics are all in English or you add some Maltese words. Because if the title is in Maltese, we
Yeah,
hope to hear some Maltese, and also about the sounds. What
we
could
will.
you tell us?
So in terms of language, it is a mix between Maltese and English. Well, there is more English to the song than Maltese. There are a few words in Maltese, obviously Lablab being one of them. In terms of the sounds, I can't describe it in one word because sounds, there is a real mix in the song. But all I can tell you is I wanted to showcase the Maltese identity and we have included some Maltese horns in terms of the sounds. And also some ethnic sounds as well. And then we meshed them up with some modern electronic beats as well.
How would you describe the Maltese music or the Maltese sound? Like because in the problem with the Eurovision is that most of the some of the countries, like Malta, for example, they always bring music that are like is radio friendly and more international. So we have little references for Maltese music in the Eurovision history,
It's
unless you
true.
go to find Maltese artists that you really like, and then you find amazing music, as I did. But
Absolutely. I think when it comes to the Eurovision Song Contest, I think Malta as a country so far, we still haven't shown our identity yet in terms of the sound. But I think that is starting to change at the present moment. Yes, we can still keep it modern, we can still keep it radio friendly and relevant with what is happening in the industry out there, but we can also showcase as well our ethnic sounds. So I think this is something that you're going to see at the start of the song as well, making sure that it is unique and that it's also out of the box. And I think our Maltese sounds can blend very well with the pop sounds that you hear nowadays as well.
nice, yeah. We can wait to hear those sounds, because Maltese language is a mix of different languages. Actually, it sounds like Italian,
Yes.
but also Arabic, like English. So
Arabic, a bit of English, Arabic being Semitic, a bit of
yeah,
English, a bit of Italian, some French as well in the mix.
yes, yes, yes. That's why, like,
Sorry.
I'm sure that the music will be also like we will hear some references of other Mediterranean sounds, like Greek or Middle East or stuff. So
Then
can't
again,
wait.
Peter, what I believe as well, I mean, the language absolutely is our language is beautiful and it is important as well that we showcase that and we showcase our representation. But then again, I believe a good song is a good song regardless of the language. You
Of
know, the
course.
language then is an added bonus to it,
Mm,
as long as you
yeah.
are able to tell the story and that the melody is memorable.
Mm, yeah, for sure. And now let's talk about visuals. How are you preparing for that performance? As we said, the semifinals will be really in less than a month. Basically, a month, or more or less, is the final, but the semifinals will be a little bit earlier. So we don't know yet when it's going to be your first performance, but it's going to be less than a month
We
from
will
now.
find out. We will find out very soon.
Now,
Um,
so yeah,
in terms of the performance,
mm,
apologies. So, I mean, I can't divulge much in terms of
of
what's going
course,
to happen visually, genuinely, because my stage director would practically not be very happy if I give out all these details. But I'm just working hard to make sure that I can provide you with a nice visual performance. That's all I can say.
nice. And are we going to see some like traditional Maltese references in there, or are you going to keep it
You're
more?
trying to bait me a bit. Yeah, I can't say anything at
Okay,
all.
okay, okay.
Genuinely.
It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be some storytelling in the performance. That's something you can say.
Sorry.
it's gonna be any storytelling in the performance, and it's gonna be
Then yes,
like a journey kind of.
yes, storytelling will definitely be there.
Nice,
Okay.
very nice. Yeah, because the song, as you said, they has strong message, and it gives you
I
room
want the people
to
to
do
connect
this,
with that. That is ultimately the main aim of the song,
of
the
course.
picture I want to paint.
Cool. And how are you preparing for that performance now? Are you yeah, tell
Yes,
us.
a lot of physical activity. So after this interview, I have to go straight to the gym, a lot of running,
Yeah.
obviously a lot of vocal warm-ups and exercises, training my vocals to ensure that there is clarity as well on the night, that my vocals can sound crisp as well, that people can actually understand what I am singing, which is very, very important to me. And obviously, mentally, as much as possible, trying to focus and relax because it does tend to be very overwhelming when you're doing so much at one go. This is not any ordinary journey, really and truly. It takes a physical and mental toll. So, obviously, these are the things that I'm doing in order to prepare myself for this type of high stamina show.
No, of course, yeah. Can't wait to see the performance and the whole show.
I
So,
can't wait.
yes. So now let's talk about the competition. This year, finally, MESC is back to the normal, kind of a show way.
Yes, thank you to the
For
S for that.
yes
Thank
format.
you.
So we'll have two semifinals with each of them with 12 songs. So in total, it will be like 24 songs competing, and then in the final will be 16, I think, right?
It's
Eight
the
and eight.
same as what happened in 2023. Only difference that instead of listening to 24 songs in one night, they're going to be divided in two shows, which I think for the
Interesting.
listener is great. And then I think 8 acts out of 12 qualify to the
Mm.
grand final. So technically, I'm going to be competing with 12 songs, really and truly,
Yeah, true,
for a
true.
spot in the final, hopefully.
Mm. And there are new names, but also like not familiar names to the Eurovision world, and for sure for you for sure, because Malta is a small country and the music industry is quite small. So, tell us, how do you feel competing, or not competing, but sharing a stage with big names in the Maltese music and people who also represented Malta already in Eurovision, such as Fabrizio Paniello, for example, or
Yes,
Jessica, who did San Marino in 2016? No, 18. Yeah, 18. For example, tell us, how do you feel?
I feel great. I mean, they are all colleagues at the end of the day. We are all artists. We all have the same goal and aim. I just feel very honored to be in the same list with all these artists, with the big names as well, the bigger names that we've had in the music scene because they've competed for quite a few times in MESC as well, but also the new talents as well that are taking part in MESC. I think it's a really beautiful thing to see. And I still remember my time back in 2016 when I had no artistic direction and I was one of the finalists for MESC and I was competing with quite a few big names as well back then. So I can only imagine the excitement that they have with this experience, the fact that they're doing it for the very first time.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
just
yeah.
wish them the very best and that they enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Apart from your song, like I'm sure that you had, in, I don't know if in full, but the rest of the songs, how do you feel about the other songs? Which are the ones that you like the most, or you can wait to see on the stage? And how do you feel in general about this year's
In terms of
level?
the other competitors, you mean the
Yes.
competition? So far, to be completely honest with you, I'm the same. I've only heard the 10-second snippets. So far I can't really comment, but what I can say from those 10-second snippets that I've heard, I think there are many good songs this year. I think the level is extremely high, and I think it's going to be an interesting competition. So regardless of what happens, regardless of who qualifies, even those that don't, ultimately I think they are still worthy competitors because again the level is super strong. So I think it's going to boil down really and truly to those 3 minutes on the night. I don't think it is that predictable as well this year of what's going to
Mm.
happen, which is the beauty of this competition.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally agree. I feel like the level is really high, and there are really good songs, but we need to see
I
the
mean,
show.
last year is a case in point as well. I think you mentioned that you thought Nam would qualify in the end, but obviously it is what it is. So
Yeah,
let us say.
yeah. Yeah, but last year I think there were more songs and then less finalists. So I think this year is not this year, but like more likely for you to. to qualify if you have
That
the whole
makes a
package.
difference, of course. Of course, it makes a
Mm.
difference. But again, I'm very
Who
much
knows?
grounded when it comes to these things. You know, you can never really say.
Mm.
I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, and I just want to focus on giving the best show that I can give.
Mm. And we know that you know more some of the all the contestants that went to Eurovision already from Malta. Have you had any any advice, or have you talked with any of them? I don't know. Maybe have you talked with Sarah, for example, when she came back from Malmo,
We
and
did.
did she tell you her experience and everything?
Now, I've had the opportunity to speak with contestants who have represented Malta in the past, and I think the first thing that they told me is to just be present in the moment. There is so much that ends up happening behind the scenes that you tend to forget to be present in the moment. So this time, that is what I really want to focus on, to try and enjoy that moment as much as possible and not overthinking each and every single scenario, because that ends up killing the whole experience and the whole vibe of it all.
Mm, of
I
course.
don't want to put that extra pressure on me.
Yeah, of course. And now let's zoom a little bit and let's move forward a little bit and imagine that you qualify to the final of MESC. You won't have much time to change anything and to do anything. Just it will be a few days apart. But imagine that you end up winning MESC and going to Eurovision yourself. What will be your first reaction? And also, how would you prepare yourself for that, for the biggest stage in Basel?
Now, I think if I had to win the Malta Eurovision Song Contest, I think my reaction definitely an emotional one, because I would definitely remember all the work that I would have put in. Um, and practically, I would say that this didn't happen overnight. You know, there were a lot of struggles that I had to overcome. There was a lot of rejection as well, as is very often in this industry, in this business. So obviously, I would be so thankful if that actually happened. Um, and also, if I had to represent Malta as well, I think I am ready, and I would actually get up to give the best performance possible to hopefully take Malta to the final once again. I think this country, whoever gets to win, not just me, I think at this point we do deserve it. We are a very hard-working country. Our artists are very hardworking. I think the music is getting better and better. So yeah, let's hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm sure that there will be like your dream come true after being in
You have
MESC and
you
MESC
have
and
no
everything.
idea what it absolutely means to me.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And what will be your goal in Eurovision? What's the message you want to bring with your song and yeah, your goal basically in Eurovision if you end up
my
going?
goal ultimately, if I go to Eurovision, first and foremost, the experience that I would be performing in such a grand arena on that incredible stage. Obviously, meeting the fans, actually meeting the people, meeting the other contestants, networking with them. The fact that my music would be given a lot more visibility on a European stage. That is my goal ultimately, and to try and secure a proper recording contract for myself, or even publishing deal for my music.
For sure, yeah. That's the ultimate goal, like grow as an artist and for the people to don't get to know you and
Especially, I mean, if you are a newcomer artist, you know, I mean,
mm,
there are other artists who go to Eurovision who obviously are major artists, established artists.
yes,
We've seen this
yeah.
in the past, but this is why it's beautiful, because there is that mix.
Mm. Yeah, and especially from such a small country of Malta that a small business and industry, like a music industry. So that would be amazing. So we know that you are a Euro fan yourself. I know myself that you're a Euro fan and you've been following Eurovision for a long time. Could you tell us which is your favorite song from the past years, or the song that really stuck in your mind from Eurovision history and also from Malta? Which are your favorite songs overall and then from Malta?
So from the past, if I had to go way back, as I told you, every way that I can.
Yeah.
Recently, I've had this obsession with Kalomira's secret combination. I find myself every now and then playing it in the car. You know,
That's
those
it.
songs always live on. And definitely in recent years, I would have to say there's Duncan Lawrence, Maneskin. From Malta, there's Destiny. So, yeah.
Yes, nice. Cool. So I think we can finish here the interview. We talk about everything. I really wish you the best of luck for the semifinals and
Thank you
for sure
so
the
much.
finals.
Oh
And
yes,
promise,
hopefully.
yes, and hopefully see you in Basel and in on the pre-parties. If you go to the pre-parties, you need to bring Matt with you to party because he's
Absolutely.
ready
Matt
for
is
that.
going to be there. Matt would definitely be there, especially if I get to
Yes,
go to Basel.
yes,
I'm
yeah,
not going
imagine.
to miss
And then next
it.
year he can go himself at Eurovision to represent Malta.
Yes, yes, I'm sure he's ready for it as well. So
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah, he's as you said, like he's a Eurovision royalty in Malta and outside Malta, you know.
yes,
So
he's
people
a
will
very
be,
well-respected artist as well and very
yeah,
creative. I'm very
yeah,
happy to have him on my team and I'm very honored. Thank you.
yes. Actually, he will bring you good luck in all the senses. So yeah, and so before we leave, could you send a message to your followers and people watching this video, and a message for the people that you want to share before the semi-final? That would be really amazing. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you so much. My message is to say thank you to everyone, genuinely, all the Eurofans for following our music, adding our music to their playlist. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you for the interview, and I will see you in a month time in Malta.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing you in Malta. Thank
Yes.
you.
Grazie ħafna. Bye.
Grazie mille. Ciao. Thank you.
Bye.